Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you joining us today. I just checked, and we have 100 people registered for this session, and they're coming from 15 countries. So, warm welcome to all of you. My name is Teresa Tsien. I am an executive committee member of ACAP, which stands for Active Aging Consortium in Asia Pacific. And I'm also a Hong Kong representative. So I'll be your moderator today for this very special webinar on a topic which is very close to my heart, the power of intergenerational connections. So from here, I can see a lot of familiar faces, but I can also see a lot of new names and new faces. So I would like to say a few words about ACAP on behalf of our president, Professor Catherine Braun, who is unfortunately on the road today and cannot come to meet all of you. Okay, you can see that ACAP stands for Active Aging Consortium in Asia Pacific. So we are just a very friendly organization, a voluntary organization. All of us are volunteers. And our mission is just to share friendship and best practices for active aging. So all our discussion, comments, or research are related to aging. Well, what do? We organize quarterly bulletin. We also conduct monthly webinars, such as today's webinar. And every year we try to have an annual conference so that we can all meet physically. So this is our website if you want to get more information. And from the photo, you can see that before COVID times, our last annual conference was in Hong Kong in 2018. So we are a big group together. Next slide, please. So how many members do we have? We have more than 1,400 members around the world. So from the map, you can see that, we span like really from east to west, north to south. So together we have today more than 1,400 members. So who are we? We are gerontologists, we are educators, researchers, social workers, nurses, people coming from different parts and different disciplines, just with the mission of, helping to promote active aging. So it's very easy to be a member because membership is free. You can just join by emailing our president. So the only information you need to give to us is your email, and it's free of charge. So hopefully you can all join us after this webinar. Next slide, please. So today, this is the July's webinar. And in August, we have another topic on silver economy. And I know the moderator, Mara from India, is also with us. So Mara, would you like to say a few words?
You all know silver economy is a big word in Asia Pacific now. And we are trying to look at the future, the developments and future of it in many countries. So for this webinar, we will have 4 speakers. Teresa herself will be one of the speakers talking about developments in Hong Kong. Then we have Professor Takio from Japan, who's been working for long in this line, and he's going to talk about situation in Japan and agroeconomics developing there. And then we have a very good speaker from New Zealand, Dr. George, who will highlight happenings there. And then there's a person from India, a medical practitioner, and who is also involved with developing a lot of healthcare facilities. And he's heading a big organization and involved with a lot of components of silver economy, going to
Mm,
bring out and highlight on India. I will moderate
very good.
and bring you the global as well as the Asia Pacific perspective. Look forward to seeing you all on 23rd. It will be 9:30 to 11 India time, and Kazon and Catherine will be putting it up, the poster invite soon, and you're all invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Mara. So all of you, if you're interested, please join us as member, and then you'll get all the information from us. So that's for August. September, we have another topic on active aging in Taiwan. October, we have archive and initiatives for active aging in Thailand. And November, we will talk about isolation studies. And December, we'll talk about the aged-friendly community. So these are all very important topics on aging. So hopefully you will join us and become our member. You'll get all the information. So as I told you earlier, ACAP is just a group of volunteers. And then, for this webinar, we need somebody to host. We are very fortunate to have our two ACAP members, Kaison from Temasek University, Thailand. She is now hosting this seminar as well as the rest of this year, from June to December. Her university will help to host the webinars. And then next year, Dini from University of Respati will host from January to June 2026. So thank you so much to Kaison and Dini and to your universities. Okay, today, who are we? We are one of the 100 coming from 14, 15 countries. So hopefully, after the presentation, please put up your comments or questions and let's discuss and make this a very active presentation. So finally, this is our presentation today. And I would like to thank you, Sisisa and Temasek University. For this seminar, we are trying to explore the relationship between the old and the young. At the Second World Assembly on Aging, held in Madrid in 2002, it was a significant event on aging in the history of intergenerational relationships, resulting in the Madrid International Plan of Action on Aging. This plan aimed to address the challenges and opportunities presented by global population aging, and they emphasized the importance of intergenerational solidarity and support. So for me, some of my most cherished memories involve learning from people much older or much younger than me. Maybe it's a grandparent story that changed how I see the world, or just a conversation with a younger friend that opened my eyes to new ideas. So this is the magic of learning across generations. That's what we are here to celebrate and learn from each other in this changing world. So as we all know that our world is rapidly growing older, technology is reshaping how we interact, and sometimes it feels like different generations are speaking entirely different languages. But if we can bridge these gaps, amazing things will happen, such as wisdom meets innovation. Imagine the creativity when grandparents and grandkids collaborate. Loneliness fades. A simple chat between generations can really brighten up someone's life. Communities grow stronger, from family bonds to workplace mentorship. These ties make society more resilient. But how do we make these connections happen naturally? That's where our distinguished speakers come in. We have brought together experts from 4 countries, regions that are tackling intergenerational relationships in inspiring ways. So today, each speaker will speak for 50 minutes. And before I introduce the first speaker, I would like to ask everyone here, please put your questions or comments in the Zoom chat. The speakers will address your questions at the end of all the presentations at the Q&A session. Thank you very much for your cooperation. So let's start with our first speaker. First speaker, Professor Ling Fang, is sociocultural anthropologist and associate professor with the Department of Japanese Studies, National University of Singapore. Her research interests focus largely around aging-related issues, including intergenerational programs and relationships, active aging, retirement migration, and age-friendly community. She publishes widely on these topics, especially relating to Japan and Singapore. She is co-lead of the work stream on purposeful aging in the Health District at Queenstown. It's a district in Singapore, a joint initiative of the National University of Singapore, National University Health System, and Housing Development Board of Singapore to promote population health. So among the objectives of the Health District is efforts to promote intergenerational bonding. So the topic of presentation is deepening intergenerational connections, some thoughts on theoretical framework. Professor Fan, please.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much, Teresa, and so nice to meet all of you online. So today I will be talking more from my recent kind of ideas about completing a paper that that came from a recent documentary series that I have done with an organization in Singapore. So can you all see my slide? I hope that's okay.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, some of you might have attended the ACAP meeting in Fukuoka in March, where I gave some introduction about this documentary that I'm going to use as a content analysis in a way for a paper. But I think I suppose there will be quite a lot of people who are already researchers in this area, so I hope it's helpful for me to just render on as a scholar when we try to make try to understand better about the kind of frameworks that we should be using when we try to look into intergenerational research. So my objective is to really understand what matters in deepening intergenerational engagements, because I feel that, to me, one of the power of intergenerational engagements is really the availability of relationship building. And relationship building is actually very hard to study, right? How do you really operationalize and all that? I'm an anthropologist, so I don't really, I mean, I look at it in a different, maybe my methodology is a little bit different, but I thought that I took part in the documentary called It Takes a Village by Channel News Asia in Singapore, and then we did a 4-part series. So in the whole process of doing the filming, from conceptualizing the ideas until the end, it really gave me a lot of chances to reflect upon how do we kind of deepen intergenerational engagements in a setting such as a integrated setting such as St. John St. Margaret's Village in Singapore. So I'm sure all of you who are working on this area will know that, contact theory in the 1950s by Allport is something that a lot of us are using because we understand how it helps in having the opportunity to contact helps in many ways of deepening the relationships. And then many of us also use generativity perspective, right, in the human development theory. I think these are basic ideas that we all agree with. And I'm also trying to see how, to understand this deepening relationship, how the depth of engagement scales by Kaplan helps. And then more recently, I chanced upon participatory feeling by Perry, who talks a lot about the whole person's theory from the adult learning perspective, which I thought I would just share a little bit as I am also trying to learn more. Okay, so please see this as a sharing session where we can learn together. Okay, so first, let me just tell you a little bit more about this site that I am focusing on. So this is St. John St. Margaret's Village in Singapore. I would say that we have two age-integrated centers that has nursing home and childcare centers. This is the second one. The first one is St. John's nursing home, St. Joseph Nursing Home, which has done a marvelous job as well. So this one is special because it's the first purpose-built 3-generational facility. That means when they tear down the place and they want to start building, this whole nursing home and childcare center, they really have the idea of hoping to integrate them so that it is an intergenerational, it's a place that promote intergenerational connections. So this was launched. So it's a nursing home with 260 more than 260 residents, and it has a childcare next to it. So the tall building is the nursing home, the one next to it is the childcare center, and then it has a church and so forth. On the first floor of the nursing home, it also has a daycare center for seniors. Okay, so when it was launched, it was very much really being regarded as an intergenerational center. But because it was launched in, still COVID time, end of COVID, and people were very careful, so not much thing was happening. And then there was a little bit of activities like some pet therapy, some drumming session once a week, and I found that was about all when after they have started for like 2 years. So when Channel News Asia was interested to film them, actually everybody was a little bit worried, like what do we have to show? So the team came together with the production team, and then we work on try to see, if we work on a 10-week activity every week, will there be any changes? Can we get the seniors and the preschoolers to be friends as a result of all these activities that's going on over the weeks? So it's a very purposeful kind of engagements to deepen relationships. And then, of course, we thought about how do we do it, whether it's 8 people, 10 people, it's a group or it's person. And then we decided it should be 1-to-1 so that we can see the developments over time. And I think what is really valuable in this experiment is the time that we give so that we can see the development of relationship over time, the deepening of it over time, because we gave almost 3 months to the project. Okay, so that's how the show is being introduced as 6 seniors and 6 preschoolers from St. John St. Margaret's Church Village embark on this intergenerational learning to see if they can become friends. And over 10 weeks of programs, do they learn compassion, empathy, and also what benefits can we gain from this? How can they make us a more compassionate society? Okay, so the whole series have 4 parts of it. If you have not watched it and you want to watch it, it's free on the YouTube, and you should watch from part 1, 2, 3, 4 so that you can see the development, because it's interesting that when they first met, they really were very strange to each other, and then how over time they developed that, deepened that relationship. So I'm just going to show you the very short introduction of this, but I need to stop share because our idea is very simple. We selected 6 children and 6 seniors and matched them as new friends.
你喜欢吃什么
Ramen.
Okay, you sing then for let me hear.
Over the course of the 10 weeks, we want to see if these young children and seniors can really become good friends.
I love you.
Wow, so do I.
When they come together, they learn to respect each other for who they are.
It fosters a deeper understanding for the elderly and the children.
背这个他们会来救。
Again.
This is teaching the younger generation to love the elderly.
Uncle Thomas, I give you.
I think it doesn't really matter whether you're young or old, whether you are of different backgrounds. Invaluable friendships can manifest in the most unlikely places.
okay, am I back to the screen? Can you see, Teresa?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that gives you a glimpse of, what has happened during the 10 weeks. It wasn't easy filming because there are people in between, went to hospital and things like that as well. But well, I'll talk a little bit about challenges later on. But we do see the benefits as a result of this experiment. There were a lot of fun, laughter, smiles. People were happy to try new things. So I think it really sparked off the life of the older people as well as the children as well, because it's out of the ordinary kind of programs that they have. And then also we see a sense of generativity because the older people were really keen to teach the young, things like life values and so forth. So they were really wanting to teach them, about how to the kind of wisdom that they have as well. Although the kids are about 5 years old, so sometimes we also have some language problem because in Singapore, some older people don't speak English, and the children nowadays really speak English only in many cases. So we see a development of a caring friendship that happens, as you can see from the snippets as well. And how one girl was like quite distant at the beginning, but at the end when we go for outing, she said she wanted to sit on the lap of the older friend. And I think what really matters is as the relationship deepens, we discover that we see older people beyond their frailty. They may be on wheelchair, they may be, forgetful sometimes, but I think the focus on the resource was that was quite inspiring. For example, somebody, one older man was very good in singing. Then we will, invite him to sing, and he would really sing so well. Although, he would at the side, complain a lot to me about his own illness and things like that. And then there are also one older woman who really can draw very well, and she used, this new encounters to draw the children and so forth. Yeah, and for the young, we see that they develop empathy over time. So when we interview the grandparents, the parents, they talk about how they notice the change in the child, where when they go out to the community, go to the market and so forth, they become more attentive to older people around them as well, and more willing to engage with them. So I think this whole idea, although it's a short span of less than 3 months, we really see the emergence of this holistic village idea that's coming up. It's not just a childcare for children, but for the parents who come here, it could be more than that as well. And when they develop relationship with the older people, the whole family could also visit the older people in the nursing home sometimes. Yeah, so it's really a heartwarming, experiment for us, and now the village is also trying more efforts in having more constant kind of activities and so forth. And I also have a student who is doing a research now, trying to include the training of staff and so forth, so that we could have more sustaining intergenerational programs and activities. Okay, then there are also plenty of challenges in this case, because you will realize that, nursing home is actually not the best place for connections, because nursing home residents really have the whole set of, frailty, disabilities, and so forth. But I would think that precisely because of that, we need to engage them more, so that they are able to look beyond their frailty to see how they can contribute to the next generation. And it really helps them with the generativity. And then encouraging staff to go the extra miles. Sometimes parents have, apprehensions about engaging with older generations. So there are quite a lot of things that we need to do in transforming that space to a place with relationship meaning as well. So very quickly, I think I have only very little time left. So I talk about the depth of engagement. I mean, I was trying to understand, and I do see the depth of engagement as very important. How you move from the stages, right, from 4 to 5 to 6, and then, how are you able to create that kind of community settings eventually? It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It may happen in 5 years and so forth, but it is a process that we all should go through. Then I told you that I chanced upon this adult learning theory. And I thought it's very interesting, because as I think about deepening intergenerational engagements, what does it mean? So Perry talks about this, what Heron's idea of participatory feeling. This whole sense of how should we, in fact, look into feeling affect as important, in intergenerational engagements. So this whole idea, I mean, I have no time, so I will just tell you here that the critical subjectivity extends to critical intersubjectivity. So we always look at older people as one, younger people as another one, but how do we look at them together, as intersubjectivity, and how their shared experience, dialogue, feedback, exchanges with others are important, in co-creating them as separate beings as well. So how do we recognize that conscious, feelings that of belongingness that people have of each other when they have relationships, when they have a chance to have relationships and sharing. So I know it sounds very abstract. I'm still, trying to figure out more as well, but I thought I'd just share with you in case you're interested, and you may be in your research writing and you wanted to know more about other theories that could be used. So let me just finish with some questions for us to ponder. How do you deepen intergenerational relationships through activities? Taking in, when you take in consideration this sense of this Heron's idea of intersubjectivity of feelings that's important in building that participatory feeling. So how do you do it in arts and craft? How do you do it in cooking sessions and so forth, right? So I think in building that kind of importance of feeling, I think would help us to change a little bit in terms of how we engage, through programs. And then how can space, again, I come back to space, because intergenerational contact zone is something I think is important. And how can space be conducive for building intergenerational connections and making this joining these interrelationships of feelings more possible? And how can we include such dimensions as well into training for staff that's relating to IG programming? Okay, so sorry for my very rough sharing, but I hope that that could give you some ideas as well on what's new. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ling Ling, for your very, inspiring message. I actually, when I heard the 3 little words, I love you, I'm really touched. When the little boy kiss, the elderly partner, is really amazing. Well,
Yeah, we have to teach them from young, right? So
yes, that's true. Yeah. And it's easier for them to say this three little words too. Yeah. Well, thank you for setting the scene by defining what intergenerational relationship and also setting the theoretical framework. We're talking about the IG depth of an engagement continuum scale. I think a lot of countries have done well by achieving maybe stage 4 or 5 by initiating annual or pilot IG projects. And I think a few are moving up to level 6 with long-term ongoing activities, or hopefully eventually in a few years to level 7 through physical environments. So we'll be hearing some case studies from Hong Kong and Taiwan presentations later. Okay, thank you again, Ling Ling. So for participants, if you have any questions or comments for Ling Ling, please put down in the chat. So we'll answer, get back to you at the end of all the 4 presentations. Thank you. So the second speaker is Dr. Masataka Koraoka. He is a researcher of the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute for Geriatrics and Gerontology, Support Center for Preventive Long-Term and Frail Elderly Care. His research focus mainly is in community-based health promotion and intergenerational programs. He received his Bachelor of Science from the University of Southern California and his doctoral degree from Boston University School of Education. So his topic today is Connecting Generations at Ibasu in Community as Frailty Preventing Measures in Japan. I think he will define what is Ibasu, which is a Japanese word. So Dr. Kuraoka, please.
Thank you, Teresa, for such a kind introduction, and good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the country. I'm gonna share my slide. So my name is Masataka Kuraoka from Tokyo Metropolitan Institute for Geriatrics and Gerontology, located in Tokyo. My main work is to support 62 municipalities, cities and towns in Tokyo, the frail prevention measures. So my main talk is going to be both frail prevention and intergenerational perspectives combined. First, I'd like to briefly introduce demographic change in Japan. As many of you may have seen this before, the point I want to emphasize is that all Japanese baby boomers born between 1947 and 1949 have turned 75 as of this year, 2025. For a long time, Japanese policy treated this year as a major milestone. In reality, there is a great deal we need to overcome in the future. While older adults today are healthier than previous generations, there is still a major challenge. For example, demand for long-term care increase after age 75 is a fact, as you can see in this graph. At the same time, Japan's declining population is worsening the care workers shortage, leading to some bankruptcy of many care service providers. These are urgent issues we've been working on for a long time. In the history of frailty prevention, Japan's approach has changed significantly over the past 2 decades. We moved away from high-risk approach, which focuses only on those already at risk, and toward a population-wide approach, which aims to keep more people healthy and independent for as long as possible. A big part of the effort has been promoting community-based physical exercise program at Kayoinoba, which is community gathering spaces. Local governments in Japan have set up many of these programs for older adults. However, many older people don't just want to stay physically active. They're interested in various things and want to connect with others and avoid isolation. So in December 2019, a new policy guideline was introduced. The goal is to make Kayoinova more diverse and responsive to the real needs of older adults. Another policy I'd like to introduce is the guideline of measures for aging society, released just last year. This is a principal policy set for aging society in Japan. In the purpose section, it is stated that we must strive to create society where people of all ages, from younger to older generation, can, depending on their circumstances, take on roles of both supporting and being supported without being divided by age. Well, basically, the guideline is saying we all need to work together no matter what age. Like I mentioned before, promoting Kayoinova is one of main measures for local government for frailty prevention. And starting 2020, in addition to physical exercise and dining or tea gathering and hobby activities, in 2020, they also added agriculture and also intergenerational activities as to promote such contents at Kayoinova. The Ministry of Health conducts a national survey on Kayoinova every year, while the total number of Kayoinova has recovered from after the COVID-19 pandemic. The percentage of new types of Kayoinova, those designed to be more diverse, has not grown as much as expected, as you can see in the orange section. Only 1% of Kayoinova have intergenerational features out of 157,000 total Kayoinova. There are some encouraging signs for promoting intergenerational activities in Japan. This chart presents the response to one question from the Cabinet Office's International Comparative Study on Life and Attitude of the Elderly, conducted every 5 years. When asked which age group government policies should prioritize in the future, roughly 30% of Japanese respondents said that the more emphasis should be placed on older people, while about the same share, about 30%, felt that greater attention should be given to younger generations. The proportion favoring increased focus on the young is notably higher in Japan than in the other countries surveyed, like you can see, USA, Germany, or Sweden. But one point of concern, however, is that this percentage has declined compared with the result of the 8th wave of the survey conducted 5 years earlier. Why do we need more diverse Kayoinova? Frailty is not just a physical issue. For example, some people want to connect with others, like I mentioned before. According to a survey conducted in Tokyo City, 57.5% of older men in that particular city are socially isolated. Because the survey had an almost 70% response rate of all adults over 65, it shows how deep and widespread the issue is. we have come to realize that we need to expand the concept of kayo-inoba beyond the traditional local activities like physical exercise. In 2020, our institute, TMIG, redefined kayo-inoba into 3 types so that government officials can find out what types of kayo-inoba are missing in that community and meet the needs at community level. We also looked beyond kayo-inoba to spaces not formally organized by a specific group, such as parks, cafes, or restaurants where people naturally gather. These are often called second places or third places, and they fit into a broader concept known as ibasho, which includes even personal spaces like one's home. If we want to meet the diverse needs of all the adults, we need to strategically promote not only traditional exercise spaces, but also all gathering places for creative prevention. For this strategy to succeed, it must target not only older adults, but also younger generations. But the question is why intergenerational connection is so important. Through the various interventions and the network built in the intergenerational effort in Japan, many studies have shown that intergenerational connection positively impact health. I'm going to show you some of the research findings conducted by our institute. This slide showed that older adults who have intergenerational relationship on top of the same age friendships are 1.7 times mentally healthier than those who only have intergenerational or same age group connections. Another research findings from a study on greeting and greeting activity, which is very common in Japanese school and community. We found out that if a child receives a greeting, the child will greet others, and also the child tends to have a stronger sense of community, like loving the community, and also some helping behavior. So it is very important for the people in the community to greet children. This study indicates that it doesn't have to be deeply involved activities. Promoting simple greeting makes some differences. Another study is a multi-level analysis found older adults who have intergenerational interaction in communities with a higher prevalence of intergenerational interaction have about 11% lower risk of poor mental health compared to those who only interact with the people their own age in the same communities. In practice, intergenerational connections often require support, tools, or activities that strengthen intergenerational ties. One intergenerational program that I have conducted in a project is pelvic correction exercise, shown in this picture on your left. When older women and young mothers share a common physical issue such as urine leakage, they bond more quickly. And also even fitness programs can help connect different generations by sharing fun activities together. We have seen some growing number of intergenerational places. Actually, we are currently conducting a nationwide study. We are visiting about 30 intergenerational program and spaces in Japan. And I want to just show you some cases. Intergenerational ibasho or kayo-inoba has slowly increasing, and this is Shibasaki Irodori Station in Chofu City in Tokyo. This used to be a home improvement shop selling doors and windows. It became a vacant house. And so local clinic doctor transformed it into an intergenerational ibasho, and now it attracts many people. in different generations. At this Irodori station, they host many programs like chorus group programs, children's dining events, exercise classes for old people, reading club, and even esports with local elementary students. The manager, Miss Oki, says she doesn't design the programs. Instead, she lets visitors contribute their own skills and interests. Some programs are even led by people with dementia. It's a great example of environment, which is an essential part of intergenerational exchange. This is, as far as I know, this is the best probably case in Tokyo. And another example is Kiri Cafe in Yokohama. It is an intergenerational multicultural space. The neighborhood has about 800 Indian residents. Ms. Negishi saw the elderly resident and young mothers and Indian families felt disconnected in the community. So she started Kiri Cafe, which is now filled with local people every day. At Kiri Cafe, in addition to a regular open cafe, Japanese and Indian mothers connect and share parenting experience in child rearing class. Sometimes people gather for singing events. And also, Kiri Cafe runs a program called Service B that specifically target frail adults, which is subsidized by the city and helps sustain the place financially. So finally, discussion. I strongly believe that the intergenerational approach promotes healthier aging and prevent frailty and benefit younger generations as well. However, if we truly want to make a meaningful impact on society, we need a strategy to make intergenerational connections embedded in our social systems beyond policies. In this section, promoting intergenerational kayonaba and ibasho is a key for frail prevention, but it requires things like a local government awareness and integrated intergenerational approach in planning and support for community people who want to try intergenerational kayonaba and ibasho, raising awareness in all generations, not only for frail prevention, but to build mutual benefit for young people. This is something usually young people don't see the importance of intergenerational connection. So we have to raise awareness, involve private sector partners who see the benefit of intergenerational connection for sustainable place and programs. And that'll be the end of my talk. And I just want to show you this new book just came out this month from Oxford University Press. The title is Oxford Handbook of Intergenerational Connections. I wrote a chapter in this book, and then also I think wrote a chapter. So I just want, if you are interested in this book, please check the website. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Masa, for your very inspiring, interesting, and innovative ideas of having sometimes unstructured programs for intergenerational connections. And you have spoken a lot of important messages. And one thing that I also, remind us that, if people who have intra and intergenerational interaction with others are mentally healthier than those who do not. So it is a good idea to interact with all ages. Okay.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The third speaker will be Miss Holly Tan. Ms. Tan is the founder of Mighty Oaks Foundation, an NGO bringing the old and young together for mutual joy and learning in Hong Kong. Mighty Oaks helps to create age-friendly communities by connecting elder facilities with nearby schools for long-term collaboration. Mighty Oaks is the first intergenerational relationship building NGO in Hong Kong, connecting 139 elder facilities and 81 schools. Prior to founding Mighty Oaks, Polly held various board and senior management positions in Baker McKenzie, a global law firm. She has been recognized as Managing Partner of the Year twice by Asian Legal Business. Polly graduated from Queen's College, Cambridge, and the London School of Economics and Political Science. She also completed an executive management program at Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern University. Very impressive bio. Her topic today is ACE Fellows. What is ACE? ACE. Intergenerational Empowerment for High School Students. Okay, Polly, please.
Good morning. And thank you, Teresa, for inviting us to this ACAP webinar. As Teresa mentioned, Mighty Oaks is a Hong Kong-based not-for-profit that promotes active aging through advancing intergenerational practices. So unlike the other speakers, we are not academics. But what I really liked Martha's presentation, Martha, I really liked the recent policy that says we are all to be supported and we are all to support each other regardless of age. So this is what our presentation today is about, and we can move on to the next slide. Like many of your communities, Hong Kong's elders are lonely, anxious, and feel marginalized. 10 years from now, 1 in 3 people in Hong Kong will be over 65, and 1 in 10 will be over 80. Suicide rates involving the elderly has increased, prompted by anxiety, loneliness, particularly during the pandemic, and another phenomenon which Hong Kong may be particular to Hong Kong is the migration wave, where elders' children and grandchildren move away to another country. Now, this then creates a growing left behind elderly community in Hong Kong. Next slide. As Teresa mentions, Mighty Oaks motivates youth to bring community and companionship to the elderly. Indeed, it takes a village to care for our elders, to alleviate loneliness through learning with energetic youth. Mighty Oaks indeed is the first intergenerational relationship NGO in Hong Kong. And over the past 8 years, as you can see from this slide, we have partnered with many elder facilities and many schools all over Hong Kong across many intergenerational programs. Next slide. Today, I really want to focus on one program, which is our ACE Fellows, an empowerment program for high schoolers. ACE stands for Anchor Community with Elders. The ACE Fellows program is only in the 2nd year of operation, but I would love to share some highlights with you. First, it is a year-long program, an 18-hour program to train, guide, and inspire youth to view elders not as a burden, nor as people to be ashamed of, instead, as people to honor and as people to learn with and to learn from. The second aspect is that the elderly in this ACE Fellows program really contribute to the shaping of the intergenerational activities. They are not passive participants. The third aspect is that the ACE fellows are so creative in thinking through what they want to do or need to do to meet the needs of the elders. Why? Because we organize this as a competition. Now, I know competitions are not for everyone, but it really does work in certain instances. So it's a competition with an independent panel of judges. The winning teams are offered job shadowing opportunities, generally in the elder care sector, to deepen their understanding of the range of job opportunities in this sector. This year, we had 17 high school student teams participate. For the elderly, this really reduces loneliness. It creates a sense of purpose when they share wisdom, life experience with the young, and it increases their confidence as they learn new skills with and from youth. Next slide. You can see from this wide range of intergenerational engagement activities, from baking to sports to technology, which is really photo apps. And you can see that some elders become co-creators of their joint activities, and they are invited to actually lead some sessions. The learning is really mutual as they deepen their understanding of each other. And as Martha shared earlier, really the sky's the limit, right? We don't need to actually pigeonhole them into certain activities. Their creativity knows no bounds. Next slide. Let me introduce you to the Joy Joint Tour Group. Now, they named themselves in Chinese, so it may sound a little bit odd in English, but they called themselves the Joy Joint Tour. Well, these students are from a local high school partnering with older adults from a nearby elderly center. Now, this district is really a less well-resourced district in Hong Kong. What's interesting is that last bullet point. I'd like to point you to that. Really, where did they decide to meet? Is literally anywhere where it's suitable for the joint activities that they co-created. In this case, it included a party room, their own school, and a nearby park. Next slide. I invite you to watch this short clip made by the students themselves to record their joint activities. Please play video. Thank you. Note their enthusiasm, the high sense of engagement, and mutual learning. Next slide. Next slide. So we can watch this video in a minute, again, recorded by the students on what some elders thought of the program. So the question is, what are your thoughts on this program? Please play video.
自己覺得自己後生咗好多嚇，同埋啲學到啲新嘅嘢嚇，唔使話淨係老人家嗰一套啊咁樣，即係有你哋年輕人嘅思想啊思維啊加入咧，咁我哋唔使咁古板。
最深刻嗰日咧就係最後一日。咁係你哋教我哋做嗰個美圖秀實，
咁知道點樣加啲字啊，加啲公仔啊咁樣，整到張相好靚，好開心。
So the key words I heard is, I felt younger. I learned something new, like the photo editing app. I am very happy. Next slide, please. Elders tell us that they feel fulfilled when they share wisdom and life experience with youth. This helps to reduce negative stereotypes of the elderly and also reduces many adverse health issues and helps elders to age in place. This 16-year-old said, older adults are just like us. What we both really need is respect, understanding, and finding ways to communicate more effectively. I believe that our ACE fellows gain a deeper understanding of the needs of the elderly, develop important practical skills, and improve their emotional intelligence. The young really need the wisdom of the old, and the old need the energy of the young. Next slide. Well, it wasn't all plain sailing, and there were many hurdles to overcome. Teenagers all over the world are notoriously shy and uncommunicative. So finding common topics of interest was initially hard. Both old and young did not want to feel judged or rejected. So we conducted briefings and training, and we also conducted a meeting for the first time in a fun workshop, actually led by experienced volunteers. The old and young then realized that they have a lot to give to each other. And really, they were just starting to get creative in planning joint activities. So this fun workshop actually sparked off their creative juices. The Mighty Oaks team was on hand throughout to brainstorm and help with problem solving. Next slide. Well, what were some of the ingredients of success for this team? First, good preparation. Second, boundless enthusiasm, which rubbed off on the elderly. And third, they anticipated for the next year, with this team coaching students to hand over the baton for next year. Now, no prizes to anyone here today for guessing who was the winning team. It is indeed this team. Next slide. We have some exciting happenings to share with you. The first on the left-hand side is an intergenerational harmonica concert in August, where we have over 400 attendees. I recently spoke to one of our older harmonica learners, and I asked her, has your health improved since you learned the harmonica? And she said, indeed it has. I said, well, tell me how. And she said, after only about 12 lessons, previously, she could only play badminton for about 15 minutes. And after learning the harmonica, she proudly told me that she can now play for 30 minutes. Now, I thought that was such a praiseworthy thing. Our intergeneration on the right-hand side of this slide is an intergenerational for all symposium on September 18th, with none other than Professor Tang Ling Ling as our keynote speaker and the Secretary of Labour and Welfare in Hong Kong providing opening remarks. Please do join us for this symposium. This will be a part of a series of symposiums focused on intergenerational issues for the next 3 years. Next slide. Being with young people makes me feel rejuvenated and embraced. I learn more trendy expressions and ways to communicate with young people, which makes it easier for me to communicate with my children and grandchildren. Intergenerational connections indeed does enrich communities, nurtures empathy, and preserves cultural wisdom. May this continue to blossom and grow throughout all our respective communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Polly. It's really amazing program. This is such a creative empowerment program to train high school students to co-create a variety of fun activities, such as I remember tea tasting, technology, sports, life story books, and baking with elders. And it works. And it brings so much joy and fun, mutual respect, understanding, and learning to both generations. I can testify because I was there at the ceremony and I witnessed and I celebrate the success of intergenerational connections. Congratulations again.
We always appreciate your support, Teresa.
Thank you. So all this best practice from different speakers, I hope we can all share and then we can learn from each other. And someday, we can visit one another and learn more. Yeah. So the fourth speaker is Professor Pei-San Yang. She is the professor at the Department of Social Work at National Taiwan University. She is also the Director of Research Ethics Center. She received her MSW and PhD degrees from the School of Social Work, Columbia University, USA. Professor Yang's specialty is in social gerontology. Her research themes include family caregiver study, Taiwan centenarian study, long-term care policy, and digital aging. She is also highly active as a consultant to both central and local governments in Taiwan. In 2006, she reported her support of students to start one of the first social enterprises in Taiwan. It's called the New Life Art Services, enhancing quality of life for seniors with creative arts. Also, in 2018, she joined a NTU startup team and co-founded Jubu Health Technologies, which is also a leading solution provider for senior care in North America and Asia Pacific. Her latest research focuses on social robotics. Wow, this is a trend. And is a founding member of Social Robotics Society Taiwan. Her topic today is the intergenerational connections in Taiwan. Pei-san, please.
Thank you, Teresa, for your introduction. After Polly's very energetic presentation and sharing, I will be sharing some more serious policies and practices in Taiwan in terms of intergenerational relationships and connections. First of all, I'd like to share the population trend in Taiwan. Life expectancy reached 81.3 years in 2020. Due to COVID-19, it decreased for 2 consecutive years and increased again in 2023 to 80.23 years. It is expected to become the super age society this year, when 20% of the total population is 65 years and older. Among them, about 1/4 live alone. And of course, now it's broadcasted often that Taiwan has a global lowest birth rate. The total fertility rate dropped to below 1. The old tradition of a full house with children and grandchildren has already become a fantasy. According to the elderly rights law, in every 5 years, the government has to initiate a new report on the senior citizen condition surveys. In recent surveys, we see that still 98% of elderly people live in the community and only 2% live in institutions. So institutional care is still uncommon. 38% lived in 2-generational household, and 26% lived in 3-generational household, all less than in the percentage, all less than in 2017. So overall, we have about 1/3 of elderly lived only with spouse or alone, and 2/3 lived in multi-generational households. According to the recent literature, less young adults live in their own houses or apartments, primarily due to high cost of house ownership. Some people move out of parents' homes for a few years of independence and move back again due to financial reasons. According to the surveys, married adult children and females have a higher possibility of not living with parents. There's a new saying, the same neighborhood, but not same house. Young people treasure their own independence more and more in recent years. They hope to live in the same neighborhood as their parents, but not in the same house. And it has become the so-called new filial piety. In this way, they can maintain good connectedness with their parents, but less family role pressures. The distance is long enough to keep privacy, but near enough to bring a bowl of hot soup over to show care and love to your older parents. But it also is noted that higher income parents may have a higher possibility to achieve such a goal to arrange for their children's independent residence in the same neighborhood. Many older adults, older parents in the remote areas, their children moved away to major cities to work and leave the so-called living behind older parents in the countryside. Therefore, our governments have started to initiate various policies and programs to promote the intergenerational relationships and connectedness. First of all, I'd like to share the Grandparents' Day. 15 years ago, in 2010, the Ministry of Education established the 4th Sunday of August as the Grandparents' Day. Let me show you their Facebook. And every year, elementary schools, senior and the junior high schools, they will do this celebration the first week of their autumn semester. So you can see in their Facebook about the Grandparents' Day, and they said, elders are the treasures of family. And grandchildren wish their grandparents happiness and health. And they make cards, presents, and schools invite grandparents to elementary schools and high schools to have celebrated parties. Okay, if you are interested, you can see more. Okay, next slide. Okay. The next program I'd like to share is the so-called co-housing. In 2017, Taipei City government had its first intergenerational co-housing project at the Yangming Elderly Home, which is located in the beautiful Yangming Mountain. 4 rooms were turned into dormitory rooms for the nearby Chinese Cultural University students. Students pay only a very small amount of rent, such as 3,000 new Taiwan dollars, which is about 100 US dollars, with a few hours of voluntary services required. It continues till now with over 50 students engaged in the program. And the students can create their own activities such as sports, mahjong, or artistic creation. The next program I'd like to share is the so-called social housing. Due to the high cost of housing in Taiwan, especially in Taipei City or New Taipei City, the government started to build projects of social housing for 16 categories of more vulnerable housing buyers, but they cannot buy social housing, they can only rent. Okay, so most of the social housing units are designed for younger generation of residents. But in 2019, New Taipei City government opened a BOT, which is build, operate, and transfer kind of project. It was a 15-floor social housing project designed for young adults aged 18 and older. But they saved 1 floor, which is the 12th floor, designed for older adults of 55 years and older, named Beautiful Life, 乐陶居. A new model of 3-generation family. This project has created a new model of 3-generation family, which is some family moved into this social project together, but in separate units, like a younger generation of family members live on 1 floor, and the older people live on the 12th floor. It's all in the same compound. So it was very familiar for them to realize the so-called to live in the same neighborhood but not in the same house. The next program I'd like to share is intergenerational co-creation. The name refers to a model in which young and elderly people participate together, collaborating across generations to promote social inclusion. This model can be reflected in various aspects, such as work, daily life, and learning. It aims to foster mutual understanding, learning, and support between generations. I show you these two photos, which shows in June, just past month, I took a group of my students from college, master program, and the PhD students to visit Bangkok, the LH Bank in Bangkok. This program was in collaboration with Thammasat University Faculty of Social Administration. And the right-hand photo, you can see three major characters. One is me, and on the left side is the general manager of the bank, and the young guy behind me, he was my co-founder of the Jubal Technology Service company, and also he was one of the students taught by my college classmates. So it's a very happy reunion, and we try to open new markets in Bangkok in collaboration with our academic partners. The next one is co-learning. We also try to connect daycare centers and kindergartens, and we have many successful programs in Taiwan, across Taiwan Island. Here I share my own university social responsibility programs, in which I opened service learning courses at school, and took students to volunteer their services at community senior centers. And I collaborated with the social enterprise, which was introduced in the brief before my talk, Legacy Art. And they designed the program called Loving My Golden Age Group Art Programs. Overall, we had a total of 40 elders participated, with the average age of 77 and the oldest man of 93. And we had 87 students participated, and we supported 4 teaching assistants. And this photo, we can see the 93-year-old grandpa. He shared his art work, and to explain the work, he said, "My life is a continuous fight." And until his age, he still does so. Each individual older person has created a beautiful life book at a daycare center targeted for demented people at the National Taiwan University Hospital District. The last project I want to share is the recent third age experimental college education programs, which started just freshly this year. The Ministry of Education called for the third age experimental college education programs for 55 plus students. In the first batch, we had 38 universities enrolled. After finishing 12 to 15 credits in a year, students may continue to take regular courses in the same university and may continue to get a degree when finishing all the credits required for a college degree. Okay, due to the time, I will not share my video, and if later we have more time, we can do so. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Teresa.
Sorry, just 1 more minute.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Final. We expect more intergenerational programs to be developed in the future to sustain the intergenerational connectedness and minimize generational conflicts. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pei-san.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
all.
thank you for introducing the intergenerational housing model in Taiwan. You know, you have this social housing project for 3 generations and also offering a few rooms in a nursing home as accommodation for college students. I also learned that in Holland, they also offer a few nursing homes. They offer free accommodation to international students. But in return, the students would have to do something, you know, to engage with the elderly or to wheel them out to the garden. So I think, you know, both are good ideas. Well, thank you so much. And time really flies, you know. Well, it's already 12. I'm sorry, you know, we have all these very fruitful and informative presentations. So finally, a big thank you to all of you who stayed with us until the very end and all the speakers for the excellent presentation, very inspiring and very innovative. So please join us on our next webinar in August on silver economy. So I also want to special thanks to Kaesong, to Temasek University, and also Sky for supporting, you know, this seminar and hosting the seminar with all the technical supports. Okay, thank you all and goodbye.